I was literally centuries out of time with this shoe. I totally misunderstood its place in history and got it completely wrong. Now maybe you guys are more up to speed with your art and your Spanish frescoes than I am, but I had a total different take on this shoe, and I'm glad I checked into it and found out things aren't quite what they seem to be, at least from my point of view. We'll be getting into that today, and then having a look at both of the colorways we've got on the docket. It's coming up from Reebok. Love to do Reeboks, especially because I love not to do Adidas and Nike all the time, because that seems to be what is out there just about all over the place. So it's great to have this opportunity to do this shoe, or this pair of shoes, because there are two very distinct shoes coming with a collaboration up there with Dime, and it's all around that fresco from Spain that was touched up a couple of years ago, 8 years ago I think it was, to give it worldwide fame where none existed before that. So we'll get into that, the story of that fresco from Spain, why it's on this shoe, and then all the details that make these pair of shoes an absolutely fire Reebok collaboration with Dime. This is a Tokyo Bada 23 sneaker channel. Tokyo Bada 23 sneaker channel です。毎日アップするので、毎日見てください。And every single day from Tokyo, Japan, I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And what we've got upcoming here is a February 6th and a February 12th release. 6th selected, 12th more wider, more general release, and it's the Dime tie-up with Reebok and the BB4000s, and especially it's the this fresco from Spain that we're talking about now. You know, fact check and all that. You know, the fact checking's a big thing these days, eh? You know, when somebody says something, fact check that and see if it's true. And I was so surprised to learn two facts about this fresco. Hopefully, I'll be able to find a picture of the original painting and then the update. The story is that a well-intentioned amateur saw the picture, thought it could do with a bit of a refresh because it was looking a little bit old, tried to do their best, and ended up turning the picture into, you know, frankly, that. I'm not even going to get into it. And it's in a church in Spain, it's religious and all that kind of stuff. But the thing is, the two really important things that I didn't know about this, I seriously didn't know this. Number one, and this is the smaller surprise of the two, okay? Because the next surprise was like, whoa, that really took me by surprise. Number one, the painting had no fame at all before it had its refresh. None at all. It wasn't like, you know, in Rome, the Sistine Chapel, famous for God's finger and man's finger getting kind of close together, right? That's super famous the world over. Or in Paris in the Louvre Museum, the Mona Lisa, super famous the world over, you know, those kind of things. You know, but sometimes, yeah, there's a next level of fame down from that maybe particular people know a lot about. This one, no. Sorry, just local people. It gained its fame from the update. So in actual fact, even though it's an absolute disaster, it actually made it, you know, made the painting famous and made the story famous. So to be honest, it owes its fame to its disaster, not the other way around. It's not like it was famous and somebody destroyed this beautiful, famous fresco that, you know, has stood the test of time. It actually got its fame the other way around, which kind of disappointed me. I thought it was a famous thing, you know, famous painting that got destroyed. I didn't think it was like it got its fame the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So that really surprised me. That point number one surprised me. Point number two, this like blew my mind. The original painting is less than 100 years old. No joke. Like something like 1930 or something like that. I thought this thing had been up there for like 1500 years or 2000 years, you know, stood the test of time, hundreds of years, wars and poverty and famine and floods and, you know, what droughts and everything, you know, through the centuries this fresco stands the test of time, and then along comes some woman and just like totally destroys it in a heartbeat. No, it's less than 100 years old. So two of the main reasons why I thought it was an important story blown out of the water. It wasn't a famous, iconic piece of art in the first place, and it's not even that old. It's less than 100 years old. There are people alive today older than this painting. So I was really, really surprised about that. Hopefully that little narrative there, that little diatribe is giving you some context for this shoe, because I'm going to show you right now on the blue and the white version, because basically today what we've got is a white shoe with blue hits on it and a brown shoe with black hits on it. They're both BB4000s, and what we'll go first with is we're going to have a look at the white variant, and we're up there on the tongue straight away looking at this. It's called Eche Homo, I think is what it's called, which stands for behold, man. And actually some people renamed it Echi Momo, which means behold, monkey. After the restoration, but here we've got that. You know, for some reason the guys over at Dime, you know, they're collaborating with Reebok here. They've taken a shine to it. This isn't the first time they've put it on their shoes, but they took a shine to it. Something about the story, something about the whole, you know, what was going on there. Really, you know, twigged with those guys. So here we see it. You're up there on the tongues in pride of place in blue, really standing out above the branding for Dime on the white tongue. So it's all blue and white up there. And we'll get into what that looks like on the brown pair in a minute. First we'll go through the blue pair and all that. So that's one of the major features. Then it's not too hard to go back from that and have a look on the inside of the shoe to see the second of 4 pieces of branding on this shoe. And we're talking about there being Dime and Reebok branding on the insole. I kind of like it because they're 2 different fonts. It's not like they've gone the easy option and had Reebok icon Dime or something like that in the same font. They've got them in offset from each other, which costs a little bit extra, but I always like it when we see them put extra touches on the shoe. And then it's not too far to go from there again across to the heel and have a look at this very white heel and a surprising piece of Dime branding on the back here because it's embroidered in grey. I think it would have looked much better in blue because of the pop of blue on white really works, but grey on white doesn't work very well. So but you can see on the heel here you've got that Dime branding as well. And then if we go to the lateral side, there was one really interesting point on the shoe that I was kind of I don't know, sometimes it surprises me with Reeboks. It's the branding panel on the side that says Reebok, and then it has the British flag, the Union Jack on there. I recently did the Air Max 90 Pirate Radio, which is also a very Union Jack inspired shoe. And I did some research about the British flag, and apparently it is okay to call it Union Jack. I thought you had to call it the Union flag, but it is okay to call it the Union Jack. But anyway, that aside, you wouldn't know it to look at the branding on the side of the shoe because it's white on white, which is kind of rare, and it's sort of in a way surprising because for a company they want their name to pop off, their branding to pop off of the shoe, but putting white on white, it sure doesn't pop off. It's all absorbed in there. But what isn't absorbed because of that is you go ever so slightly back a little bit and you see that tab hanging off the side. I think I'm right in saying it's a blue tab with white writing with the Dime branding on there to give us our 4th place. Up on the tongues, on the insoles, on the heels, and that little tab that hangs off round about the midfoot area of that blue Reebok branding on the side of the shoe. And then if we flip these guys upside down, you'll see a very, very white outsole. I was expecting more, some hits of blue or some hits of branding or some hits of collaboration or some hits of the Echi Homo or something like that. But it's just all white, very, very simple looking shoe. So, and then thinking of all those parts, if we go across to the brown shoe and see that very solid white blue leathers, and we come across to the brown shoe, and now we're onto a much softer, suppler, more gentle suede in that brown. And what I want to do is to run you through a couple of places on the shoe. We'll start up with the tongues looking down on there, and you can see whereas the blue version, the white and blue version, had the white and blue branding up here. With these guys, they've put an extra colour in, so you've got 3 colours on the branding up there. It still has the picture from Spain, still has the Dime branding, and then that's all on a branding panel, but it's 3 colours instead of 2, which is kind of interesting. And again, not too far to go back from there and have a look at the insole and get up what's going on inside, and then the back end of these guys. You can compare that to the all white with grey embroidered branding on the back of the white and blue ones, and then see how we're doing here with the update. But the main thing that I really want to look at, which is interesting to me, maybe not to you, but who knows, is that lateral side branding panel on there, because in the case of these guys, they have gone with the contrast. So instead of going with brown on the brown suede, they've gone with the darker colour, which pops off of the lighter brown suede. So I just, you know, from a pure knowing your shoes point of view, I kind of get that. But then having said that, there's no other way to tell the branding or the logos on the brown pair. But if you go back to the blue pair, you can see the distinctive sort of single stripe to 2 stripe Reebok branding on the side. So maybe there's a balance there where the logo is sort of big and powerful in the blue and the white version. Then we come back to the browns and you see the logo's not so powerful, but then the Reebok branding itself, because it's in contrast, is. And then the final thing to do is flip those guys upside down and have a look how it's a full single tone outsole on those guys as well, which kind of again surprised me. I thought they'd play with it a little bit more and put something in there to give it a little bit of more of a story, but that's their choice, that's their shoes, and that's my video for today. I hope you appreciate the sort of 2 parts to this, the whole story of what went on in Spain, and I'd love it to know, I'd love to know if you guys were as interested in me in those fact checks, the fact that the painting itself is less than 100 years old, which which just blew my mind. And it wasn't famous already. It wasn't like somebody had taken like Van Gogh's sunflowers and destroyed it, you know, something famous, and got brought down. It wasn't famous in the first place, and the upgrade or downgrade is what made it famous in the end. So so hopefully, you know, you like all that stuff, all those little bits of details. I've got a few interesting shoes coming down the line in the next couple of days. I've been trying to keep ahead of things at the channel. It's been hard work. Done a few shoe butter videos because I was running out of content. I had to grab some videos somewhere, so I did 2 shoe butter videos. Hopefully you caught those and enjoyed that, and hopefully that's a sign that he'll be giving us some more content throughout the year. Stay tuned for that. But for now, time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. I'll say what I say at the end of every single video, which I do this every single day, which means you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.